Andy, is it true that all rich and famous rock stars steal the bathrobes that they give away in the Japanese hotels, that they take them home?
Whenever I go to the Orient, I take whatever I can get.
And is it also true that they stay up to all hours of the night, even when not on the road, in their own home? That they live that kind of a life, drinking with...
It's a total myth, but it's all true. Right, let's get the bath.
Andy Summers, born December the 31st of 1942, is best known as the guitarist of the band The Police. Summers has also recorded solo albums and collaborations with a wide range of musicians, along with doing the musical scores for films such as the hit comedy Weekend at Bernie's. His autobiography and live-action photography have been praised as well.
Thank you for flying MTV.
Fly the MTV party plane to The Police. It's one ride you'll never forget.
He took up the guitar at the age of 10 and became a professional musician by age 16, first gaining some recognition in Zoot Money's Big Roll Band, followed by a stint in Soft Machine, followed by Eric Burdon and the Animals. In 1974 he was actually on the short list to join the Rolling Stones, which Ron would ultimately win that spot. Sting, Stuart Copeland, and Henry Padovani were the original lineup of The Police, with Andy joining as their second guitarist, eventually moving Henry out, and becoming the trio we all know.
No, actually, he did seem to be able to play at the end, which came as a huge shock.
Yeah,
I thought I'd been cheated, actually.
Yeah. What about you as a kid? I mean, did you do what they did, practice
Oh,
in
yeah,
front of a
pressed
mirror?
up against the mirror. Exactly. I think that's where we all start, really.
What about these, these groups? We hear that a lot of the members can't actually play, that it's all done by session musicians, for recordings. What's the truth behind that?
Well, I think that's a sort of fallacy, really. I think that was the kind of thing that was happening in the 60s. Lots of low forehead and session musicians, but I think that day's gone.
For people from that era, there are a lot of lucky musicians around, do you reckon?
From that era?
Well, if that's when it was done, I suppose there would have been a few. Yeah.
I think that was definitely true then.
Andy and the Police would record 5 top-selling studio albums, reaching the pinnacle of fame with sold-out tours and winning almost every kind of music award there is, with an array of one classic song after another: Roxanne, Message in a Bottle, Can't Stand Losing You, King of Pain, Every Breath You Take, among countless others.
So many gold and platinum records from all over the world, yet you keep them in your dressing room where nobody can see them. Is this because you're ashamed of all your success?
No, I am not ashamed of success. I'm a person that doesn't like to be responsible for riots. So I don't mind playing the tunes over and over again because most of it's very good tunes, a lot of tunes that Sting wrote, and I like to play them. And one can continually expand within what might seem like a limited framework of a popular song. You can keep, if you have the imagination, and on a good night you can open it up even more. In fact, they never sort of end in a way.
There are a lot of people who supported reggae music prior to the release of the first Police record. Many reggae supporters and critics felt that you were ripping off a group of people who had been doing this music for a number of years, and that you were getting away with it because you were 3 pretty white blonde boys. How do you feel about this?
Well, this is the kind of thing that the press usually blows up and makes into a big issue. For me, it's because the Police were and are a very good group. We took something out of reggae, like the rhythm, and then we transformed it into our own music. I love Bob Marley and I like a lot of reggae groups, and I tip my hat to that, but I don't sit around listening to that music all the time. To me, it was, for the whole group, it was a means to achieving something else. I think we made our own music. The Police were successful because we were very good at what we did. I don't think, being black or white has really got anything to do with it. Because in the end, all it does is create a platform where you're out in front of the public eye, and then you have to succeed and still convince people. It only gets harder when people can really see you, spend all that time trying to emerge, then you're there, and then you've got to really prove that you can pull it off. And what makes it all work anyway is that I think we all came into a situation together, and I think, there is a little bit of destiny and magic in it. But in a sense, all the 3 of us come from such different backgrounds, sort of personally and musically, that it was that kind of difference between us that made it all work.
When you're standing on stage and you look out into the audience, what do you see?
If you're in this, you go out and you perform in front of people. sex is a part of it, projecting that feeling, you know, I mean, you know, really, it's rock and roll, and part of it is sex and image and the way you look and the music you play, and it's all a kind of a hedonistic experience, really, anyway, and, you know, the audience should really want to go to bed with their rock stars. What's the point otherwise? I mean, that's sort of, although it's just a fantasy, that is part of it.
What I'm getting at, Andy, is that you have quite a reputation with the ladies. And as I've heard, there have even been, yes, it's true, there have been newspaper headlines saying, Randy Andy.
You have to do this at this point. You know, I've always been the same way. You know, sex mad.
You're the member of the police that's considered to be the comedian.
I like doing those things. It's very natural to me. And that, in a sense, when I can sort of perform that way, it makes me happy. But there's more to it than that, you know, I think. Like most real comedians are pretty serious people.
What about producing other people, playing with other musicians like Robert Fripp?
I mean, you mentioned Robert Fripp. Robert Fripp is a person that I also grew up with. I mean, he's from the same town as I, the same year we grew up together. On one level, like, I like the way he plays the guitar, and I like his eccentricity and his direction as a person. I find it attractive. I like, and so that I can feel challenged and know that I still exist as a musician and as a player outside of the group.
Is this the longest ongoing relationship you've had with other musicians?
Yes. Yes. It sure is. Most things in my life have crumbled under me. Marriages, you know, groups, you know, home, everything, bank accounts. I'm used to a sort of crumbling situation. So really, I mean, in the last 3 years has been really interesting for me because one lives sort of outside of it and in it. And in the last 6 months, I think I've really sort of turned around inside. It's very sad that when people get into all the, you know, the rock and roll lifestyle and they can't sort of detach themselves a bit from it and they get eaten by it. Because I think it is possible to carry it all off and survive. And
Andy has an important announcement to make about MTV.
Hello. What? Right.
Excuse me, makeup.
You're joining us just in time to find out a lot of stuff about the police. We have been playing a video called Studies in Synchronicity. Could you describe and talk about that video a little bit?
Well, having seen it once myself, yeah, I think this is the idea of it is it's a trailer for the album. The art director who put together the album cover for us has taken all the photographs and made them into a black and white film. It is black and white, I think, which uses all the ideas and props from the cover with slices, juicy slices of the song.
And it's little pieces of the videos that we will be seeing here on MTV.
That's true, there are bits of that in it too.
We've already got Every Breath You Take. What other videos can we expect?
At the moment we have one other one in the can for, in the can. That's funny. It's for Wrapped Around Your Finger, exactly. And we're going to make another one probably in the next few weeks for Synchronicity 2.
Synchronicity 2.
We may make another one after that.
Will the Synchronicity video be along the same lines as Every Breath You Take?
No. I think we'll do something completely different.
The Police would split up in 1986 without a real statement saying so. Andy would release his first solo album XYZ in 1987.
Andy Summers is taking a new band out on his first solo tour, and he stopped to play a lunchtime gig Tuesday at New York's Hard Rock Cafe. While he plays some Police material in concert, he says the band has split for good.
I think there's a definite end to it, you know. I don't see anything in the future. And I'm not unhappy or happy, it's just the way it is.
He has since released 13 solo albums in total, rejoining the Police during their record-setting reunion tour in 2007 and 2008. With an induction along with the Police into the 2003 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.